All right, I just got to my inspection today. This is a flip. Was sold 2 years ago for $1,000. And in the listing, I love this term, recently renovated. All right, I'm actually still in my car. I didn't even get out yet, but I want to show you something. You notice how these are kind of uniform. They look normal. And then I look right here, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but starting right up here, you can see that these are all different. You see the gaps right there? And if you follow those down, you go right down that one. Watch, I'll zoom in on this. You start right there and you go down. And then you follow that. You can see right there. And you go all the way down to the ground. Right there. That was a huge crack in that foundation. So these are the kinds of things that, you know, when a home buyer or somebody shows up to look at that house, those are the kinds of things they usually don't notice. Now, as soon as I get out and I start shining a spotlight on this stuff, you guys are going to be like, why'd they even make an offer on that place? But I'm not even out of my car yet, and I'm already seeing that. Welcome to Flipper Fun. I'm going to show you something else over here. I'm right over here. Look at that right there. A little bit of mortar and some dark paint is not a structural repair, and it doesn't solve the core problem. All right, so let me stitch this together with you and connect all these dots, and I'll show you what I'm seeing here. You know, when you do foundation repairs, when you see cracks in new repairs, that means whatever caused the damage, whatever caused the structural movement or the settlement is continuing. You come over here, you can see that it is continuing. As I worked my way up here, I came around the back. I saw that that was cracked, that was cracked, and then right here is a step crack, which is also continuing. Now they poured this new concrete sidewalk, but they never addressed drainage management. So from here to there, slanted in, water's only going to run against the foundation. Over here, it's going to run down onto that sidewalk. That means in the winter, this is all going to be covered with ice, but also these expansion joints right here, in a matter of time, a short matter of time, these concrete steps, the walkway, the hardscaping, is going to start settling and getting weird because they also have poor grade on this side dumping down against the steps. So these days are numbered here. So let me show you what I saw in the front. Up here they've got ledger bolts that are Tapcons with small heads. I'm happy to see them, but those should have been structural screws with big pan heads or washers. Those little heads will pull through the wood like that one is. Notice up here we've got two 2x8s, 2 plies of that rim joist. But there is no load path for that center post on the top. That is an asphalt roof, which means it's going to get huge piles of snow on it. That center is going to get super heavy, and there is no load transfer to the ground here. But then I stood over here and I noticed the gap down here is wider than the gap up here, which tells me the entire house is leaning to the right. Now that observation fits with the settlement and cracking I'm seeing in the foundation on this side. The whole house has racked, skewed, or settled that direction. Now we'll go up top to this beautiful new patio that they poured, and I'll show you the problems up here. You will see right there, there is a pipe. That's a perf pipe, so that water can flow into here and get down the hill. But they poured brand new concrete and did nothing to manage the drainage onto this. This is a stacked stone retaining wall that is bulging here, so that's eventually going to displace. I don't love that post because I can't see what's down there. But essentially what's going to happen here is water and snow and ice are all going to pour onto here, try to make their way over into that drain, this curtain drain here, and the water is also going to be flowing down here. That is all downhill onto that walkway. So you're going to get water and snow melt off running right down these steps. So that is all going to be slippery this winter. With respect to the foundation here, if this is where your problem is, and it's moisture related and settlement related, why is there no rain gutter here? Because that is all going to drop straight down, and it's just going to worsen the problem. They did put rain gutters up here, which I'm happy to see, so they at least partially solved the problem. Root cause, guys. You got to address the root cause. You got to cure the problem, not just treat the damage or the symptoms. This is something that's cool. You don't often see this. Anytime you have a window that's within 18 inches of the walking surface, that's supposed to be safety glass, and it almost never is. But you'll see they put guards in, and that is absolutely acceptable. Love to see it. Good job, guys. Remember outside I was showing you how the house was leaning this direction? Look at the window. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see this. Here, that right there is super tiny. You can stand back and you can see how much the house is leaning. So what they did was they plumbed this inside wall. They built a false wall here, and the outside of the house is leaning that direction. We came in here to the basement, and they've done repairs on the foundation. You're going to notice this wire mesh screed that they put on here, and then they just troweled on some mortar. And I'm sorry, guys, that is not a structural repair. That is lipstick. That is marginally better than 6 layers of paint. That is not a proper structural repair of the foundation. If you look closer, you'll see a horizontal crack here and a horizontal crack there with displacement. And if you even look where they parge coated, you will see that that is right there about a ½ inch of displacement. You can see it right there, the most pronounced. And they just decided to cover it right up. I know I crapped on this house quite a bit, but what I can say is I'm going to include some video of this house in the shape that it was in. I'll say this place was relatively well flipped. They did nice work here. This isn't shoddy flip work. This basically, some of the stuff I saw today wasn't disclosed, but that's why they hired me, so I'm telling them. And it's not a catastrophe. I don't think this house is a run Forrest run house. They know what they're buying. If they move forward with this, they know the house is leaning. There's about a 4-inch lean to this house. And all in all, I think as a balloon framed structure, I'm not overly concerned by that. I think that this house, if they stabilize the condition, get the drainage management taken care of, epoxy inject some of these foundation cracks, frankly, I think the house is going to stand up for a long time and do well. But all in all, this is a day in the life of the home inspector. You guys got to see kind of the evolution of how these inspections go for me.